What's going on, family, friends, and fellow enthusiasts? It's your boy Leo, and today we're diving into the Blackbird Simulation's T6A Texan 2 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This isn't just any aircraft though, it is a powerhouse of training excellence with a rich military history, and this video should serve as your basic guide to completing your first flight. The T6A Texan 2 isn't just an airplane. It is the backbone of pilot training in both the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy. Designed to sculpt the aces of tomorrow, this aircraft blends performance with precision like no other. The Beechcraft T6A Texan 2 is a single-engine turboprop aircraft built by Texan Aviation, a trainer aircraft based on the Pilatus PC-9. The T6 replaced the U.S. Air Force Cessna T-37B Tweet and the U.S. Navy's T-34C Turbo Mentor during 2010. The T6's first flight was July 15, 1998, and entered service in 2001. Her primary users are the U.S. Air Force, U.S. Navy, Royal Canadian Air Force, Hellenic Air Force, and the Tunisian Air Force, and she's been produced from the year 2000 to present day. I welcome you to our review of the T6A Texan 2. Okay guys, welcome to the ramp here at the shuttle landing facility at Cape Canaveral, Florida. And before we get into it, I just want to speak briefly about the feature set of the T6. Blackbird Simulations has definitely pulled out all of the stops with this bird. I'm talking about static elements, intuitive tablet, beautiful PBR textures, you name it. Straight from Blackbird's website, the feature set of this aircraft include engine and propeller blowout and fire effects, tire sparks and wheel blowouts, full circuit breaker system, option to fly from the front or back seat, automatic co-pilot option, in-game tablet with a full range of customizations, a 1:1 scale fully functional GPS, custom control mapping in said tablet, trim device adjustability, night lighting effects with dozens of customization options, a full failure system interface where you can adjust which ones are active and set times for them to go off. Over 12 liveries come with the aircraft, pilot models and animations, visors, mask, etc., which is one of my favorite. Curated sound pack for maximum immersion, absolute beast on the sounds. All analog systems, electric, hydraulic, pressurization, ECS, fuel and oil are all fully custom and realistic. You get air show smoke trails, red, white, and green. And last but not least, VR compatibility. So we'll go ahead and get ready to jump into the cockpit. Show you how to get a flight plan entered into the GPS. That was my main thing. Not really many tutorials on that. Everybody seems to be just hitting the ready for flight option. So I'll show you how to get a quick little flight plan entered into the GPS and a code start, and we'll head out on a short flight. Alright guys, here in the cockpit of the T6 Texan 2, first thing you want to do is grab your tablet. I like to take the chocks and the pins and covers off. While we have the tablet out, we'll take a look real quick at the controls. You can set most of your controls from here except for your axis, but for certain, essentially you want to set all of your trims, your nose wheel steering. Over on your throttle, you want speed brake forward and aft, flaps up, takeoff and landing. Miscellaneous, you're going to want to have idle cutoff, which is going to be your fuel shut off on the integrated throttle there, and that's pretty much it. You can also adjust your axis calibration if you need, and yeah, that's about it. Now we will be using a little quick cheat so that we can program this. I can show you how to program this GPS, but we'll be recharging the battery since this aircraft does not come with a GPU. The other thing you want to do is get your controls lock off, and what I like to do is go ahead and set the nav lights now. Starting this bird up is fairly easy. It's a pretty automated process, and you'll see that once we get to it. So the first thing we want to do is battery switch on. We'll kill the warnings, and we'll come down, we'll get the aux switch on, aux battery on as well. As you can hear the fans in the system come to life. Now what we're gonna do, I don't recommend doing on any normal circumstance, but we're gonna get the avionics on and we're gonna run through this GPS, and like I said, we'll be hitting that charge battery button because we will be drawing power from the aircraft's batteries. So we'll do that now. Takes them a second to come alive. Look at those screens come on, love it. Alright, so coming down here into the, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll go here, pause that. Coming down here into the GPS, currently the GPS is pretty much aligning. First thing you want to do, you can set your barrel, your altimeter now, but you press enter 5 times and you'll see it cycle through. You approve it, acknowledge, and you see how all of this is blank. It normally takes 15 to 30 seconds to get the alignment on the aircraft, and you'll see it pops up here in a second. This method I'm going to be teaching you, you need the aircraft to be aligned in order to use this particular method. So again, there it is. You see all of the airports and stuff pop in. It's that quick. All right, now, so each one of these labels here represents a page on this knob on the GPS. You got 2 sides, the left and the right. If you read the manual, you'll see left cursor, right cursor, left side, right side. So what we want to get to for the flight plan is FPL 0. So we'll scroll the big knob here until we get to FPL 0. And you're looking right here in the bottom left of it, FPL 0. Now these are your flight plans. This is where you start. If I scroll backwards 1, you can save up to 24 flight plans in this aircraft. We'll start here. Now to enter your flight plan, it's as simple as making sure your cursor is on, and then it becomes just like your Garmin 530. We are at KTTS, so we'll scroll our wheel and input K. We'll go backwards to get to T faster. T. T. Oops. And we're looking for S. There it is. Once you get the waypoint or the airport that you want, you hit enter twice. There you go. Now on the right side, it's going to bring up information about that airport. The label we have here is Airport 1. That represents this tab. This is the tab you need to be on to select any SIDs and stars for a particular airport. So if it's somewhere like supplemental or whatever, all you do is scroll your big wheel until you get to APT1. Use your little wheel to scroll through. It gives you all of the airport information, frequencies about that particular airport that it has selected. Remarks, fuel types. There's your stars if you wanted to select this as your departure, as your star. Cursor on. If you have multiples, you will use your tiny wheel to select them. In this case, we're not using a star, so we'll go to the next page. Same thing for your approach. If you wanted to select an approach, the RNAV for runway 15, cursor on, and you can use your tiny or your big wheel here in this case to scroll through your different approaches. In this case, this is our departure airport, and so there's nothing we need to do here because we're going to be flying VFR out straight. Alright, so for our second waypoint, same thing. Cursor, if the cursor is off, you won't see anything highlighted. Cursor on. Our first waypoint is going to be Melbourne VOR. Oops. So we'll cursor on and we'll scroll down to number 2 and we'll type in MLB. MLB. Enter. Enter. And now you see we have a line drawn to Melbourne on our GPS. As far as this is concerned, if you are something like this, then you just hit the nav button until you get to GPS. It's that simple. So we'll put in a couple more waypoints and then we'll come back to you when we get down to Homestead as far as our arrival. Okay, real quick, I wanted to show you this one other thing here. Our next waypoint is going to be T-Bird. So as we start entering this waypoint, you may notice that it auto-populates like so. It picked it up automatically. In this case, all you have to do, if that's the one you want, you hit enter twice. Alright, so we have our final waypoint, which is Homestead Air Base down in South Miami, or Homestead, Miami. Now, just like we spoke about for our departure out of Cape Canaveral here, we have HST highlighted with our cursor, and it's populated over on the right side. We're on Airport 1, and now we're going to want to scroll to Airport 7 subpage, and here are all of our arrivals for Homestead. We're not flying an arrival, we're going straight into the approach, so we'll go to the next page, which is 8, and we're going to be doing the ILS for runway 06. You have Yankee and Zulu. Now take note, you have RNAV, ILS, whatever your approach, it may not say ILS or I06, but you'll kind of know it when you see it. So in this case, T06 Yankee is going to be the approach that we want. So we cursor on and we scroll down using the big wheel to select number 3, T06 Yankee. We enter it, it asks us for initial approach fix. We'll just select one, Cajun, and load in Flightplan. Oh, I think I messed up. Hold on, let's go select that again. I think I accidentally cleared it out. Alright, cursor on, and we go 06, enter, enter, enter. Alright, there we go. Alright, cool. So one other thing I want to discuss, if you press the altitude button, you'll get a VNAV page here. Our altimeter here right now is 3002, so we'll set that really quick on our altimeters. And now, full disclaimer, I am still learning the aircraft, haven't used the VNAV yet, but we'll try it out on this flight. So we'll set our altimeter here as well, 3002 set, and we'll scroll down, turn that on. That gives us a VNAV warning. Over here on the right side, if we cursor here, our altitude that we're going to want to be at is 1,500 feet. So we'll select 1,500, and we want to descend at about let's just say a 3-degree descent angle. And now you see VNAV is armed. However, that's VNAVing us to MLB. So what we will do is come here and we'll select our waypoint before the airport. So that's going to be L leg. And we'll enter that. Alright, cool. So VNAV is armed. We are good to go for start. So let's get our, we'll clear that message. Let's go ahead and get our helmet on, and we'll start with the because I want to showcase some of the sounds. We'll start the engines with the canopy open, and then we'll get it closed. But for now, let's go ahead and get set up, and get our helmet on, and I'll show you how easy the starter process is.
Alright guys, ready for startup. We'll come down to our left knee. We'll get the anti-collision light on. Those are the strobes. Aircraft does not have a beacon light, so we'll use the anti-collision light to let everybody around us know we're fixing to start. PCO levers can go to idle. Come over to our right knee. Fuel boost pump can come on. And we'll engage the starter. Alright, we'll get the canopy closed now. Alright, we'll come down to our right knee. Generator switch can come on. Boost pumps off. Bleed air norm. Ram air norm. Air conditioning on. And we'll come oxygen supply on. We will set flaps to takeoff position, and we'll press our nose wheel and steering button that we set, and we have nose wheel steering ready. And we are ready for taxi, guys. I'll catch you for departure.
Alright guys, we're lined up here at runway 33 at the shuttle landing facility. We'll depart here at runway 33, climbing right turn, climb to about 1500, and then we'll check out the VAB, and then turn direct to Melbourne VOR.
Okay, so as far as takeoff procedures, we're going to increase the throttle to about 20%, let it stabilize, release the brakes, and then we'll slowly apply the rest of the throttle. Now this aircraft will have a tendency to pull hard to the left, and so we're going to have to add a considerable amount of right rudder to keep her on center line. Alright, here we go. Spool them up. And we'll release the brakes. Slowly add that power. Get on that rudder. And there's takeoff power. Rotate at about 100, 110 knots. And airborne. Gear can come up. And flaps coming in as well. And we'll start our climb to about 1500. And we'll pour some power. And we'll add in our trim now. As we come up on historic launch pad 39A and B, which as we all know, are the launch pad that launched the Apollo missions to the moon. Alright, there's 2000. Push the nose over where we want it and we'll trim it for that. The aircraft flies really nice, smooth, forgiving, but not forgiving at the same time, if that makes sense. There is the vertical assembly building, or VAB for short. A little bit of bumpy air around here. Alright, so we'll head out towards 39A. This is the launch pad that SpaceX currently uses. And they will be upgrading that launch pad as well. Alright. Turn down the coast here. And it looks like they have a Falcon Heavy sitting on the pad. Alright guys, well that was a takeoff. We'll climb on up, head direct to Melbourne. We'll climb up to about 10,500 feet or so, and head on down to Homestead, Miami. We'll see you at cruise. Alright guys, so welcome to 22,000 feet. We have reached our cruising altitude that we're going to be using on our short journey down to Homestead. Aircraft definitely had zero problems getting up to this altitude, and as you can see here on our GPS with our VNAV, it's picked up our altitude and it will give us a notification when it's time to descend. As you see, the VNAV has kicked in and we have about 7.5 minutes at this altitude until we need to start down to get to our final altitude for our initial approach fix. So enjoy the cruise. We'll catch you on the approach into Homestead. Passing L leg. As we get into our approach, I'll take a moment to talk a little bit about the approach procedure here in the aircraft. Now, you're not going to be flying the typical approach. This aircraft is set up more in the military variant, in which you're going to be looking for what's called on-speed AOA. And we have this little box here that'll give us a series of lights that we'll discuss more in detail as we get configured for landing. But if you're aiming for roughly 100 to 110 knots on final approach, then you want to trim the aircraft to get what's called on-speed AOA. And that's pretty much putting the aircraft in a specific attitude or angle of attack for landing. And that is what you're going to want to maintain through the entire descent here on final approach until you touch down. Also take a moment to say that the Blackbird Simulations T6A Texan is definitely, in my opinion, one of the aircraft that's very worth picking up. You can get it on their website for, I think, 44 bucks, I believe it is. Definitely provides something different if you enjoy turboprop aircraft like I do. Provides something different than the standard general aviation that you're used to. And like I said, it has a PT6A engine that we're all used to in the Pilatus and TBM and other aircraft as such. And I think it's definitely worth it in that sense. And Blackbird has hands down done a really good job with this aircraft, from the textures, the modeling, the systems, the failures, and everything else. It really forces you to fly the aircraft correctly and by the numbers, while not being so study level that the average person couldn't just jump in it and go. Okay guys, so we're on a bit of a extended base here. Looking for our final turn, so what we're going to do is come down here and click on nav till we get low. For some reason though, I don't know why it makes our flight plan disappear. But we do have the localizer there showing. And the glass should come in as we turn on final and get a bit closer. There's the localizer active down there as well. So we're going to start making our turn, give us about a 45-degree intercept here. And this should put us on about a 16-mile final. We'll keep the speed up for now. And once we get glide slope information, we'll go ahead and get our aircraft configured here. And as you can see, that localizer is coming in, so we'll turn to intercept it. And we want to be at 3,000 or above here. And we overshot just a wee bit. And we do have the runway in sight. And we'll get back over to the loc, get a little closer, and I'll show you what to do next. Fully established, a few miles out, and we have gear down, glide slope is active, localizer is good. And so if you keep your eyes here, this is our angle of attack indicator, our AOA indicator. That indication there means that we need to pull some power. So we'll pull some power out. We'll get our last stage of flaps in, even though it's a bit early. We'll maintain about 110 to 120 knots. Till we get a bit closer, and then we'll worry about that AOA here. A bit breezy here, coming into Homestead. And we're trimming the aircraft to get her back over the glide slope indication here. And right now we're just flying our normal, just like any other aircraft, but we will get our proper on-speed AOA here momentarily. Alright, so now we have the yellow donut, and that is what you want to see for on-speed AOA for the correct angle. And if it's red and yellow like that, that means you want to pull just a little bit of power. And that is what you want. Green donut, no other markers. If you get slow, it'll be a green one to the top, telling you need to add power. Oh, a little lag spike there. But here's where you gotta be precise with this aircraft. As you see, she's wiggling around a lot. She does not like to be slow. So you get your proper trim configuration. Get on speed AOA just like we are. And you're constantly moving those throttles. See, now we gotta add some power. And we'll fly that glide right on in. Still trimming slightly. We'll adjust for center line here. But you do not want to be making big movements around with this, with the slow airspeed here. If you played DCS, then you know all about on-speed AOA. We're flying the glide right on in. Constantly adjusting the power. These trees shouldn't be this tall right here. We'll add some power just to clear them. I see 2 red, 2 whites on the Pappy. And we'll fly right down in between this corridor and the trees. Still on speed AOA. Glide is good. Loc is good. And you don't want to really flare. Just fly right into the runway. There's ground effect just about. And there you go, pull your power, eyes to the end of the runway. And there you have it, guys. Nose wheel steering on. And welcome to Homestead. Once you get her stable, you can start applying some brakes. Alright guys, flaps can come up. And we'll exit stage left as soon as we can safely do so. So with that said guys, I want to take the opportunity to thank you if you're still here. Thank you for checking us out, watching the video. Do subscribe to the channel if we've helped you out. And if you have any questions, do drop it down in the comment section below. Make sure you drop a like for the video, ring that bell notification to let yourself know when we're live. We're predominantly a live streaming channel, so we will be live streaming this bird here pretty soon. But hopefully this gets you set up and able to do your first flight in the Blackbird Simulations T6 Texan 2. And again, you can grab this aircraft from their website, $44.99. Awesome aircraft, in my opinion, and I highly recommend you guys check them out. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.